Best way to eliminate someone without leaving a trace is to make their death look like an accident. Every time the billionaire came home, he had a habit of swimming first, but this time he was surprised to find a watch worth millions at the bottom of the pool. Instinctively, he reached out to grab it, but the next second, a man suddenly emerged from the water. He wrapped his hands tightly around the billionaire's neck. The billionaire tried to call for his bodyguards, but the man held him firmly in place. Within seconds, the billionaire drowned. One bodyguard noticed something was wrong, but after a closer look, the billionaire seemed to be swimming again. The guard let down his guard and resumed his patrol, but it was the assassin controlling the body. By the time the guards realized the truth, it was already too late. They immediately sounded the alarm. Everyone was mobilized, but by then, the killer had already changed into a chef's uniform and walked out of the house openly. He sprinted to a nearby bridge, and as a ship passed beneath, he jumped into the water, grabbed onto the stern, and escaped successfully. The man was a top-tier assassin. His method of killing relied on precise calculation, turning every hit into a perfect accident. In the industry, he was known as the mechanic. News of the billionaire's death quickly made headlines. Soon after, the man met with his handler. The handler was not only his mentor, but also his closest friend. The man received a large payment. Then came a new target. To his shock, this time the target was his mentor. The man was confused. He suspected a mistake in the mission, so he went to the organization's boss for answers, but the boss told him his mentor had leaked confidential intel for money, leading to the brutal deaths of 5 assassins involved in a mission. They had even found a $20 million payment in one of his offshore accounts, proof of his betrayal, which the organization could not tolerate. Still, the man wanted to speak to him first, but the boss refused. There was no room for negotiation. He had 2 days to eliminate the mentor, or the organization would send someone else. Torn between loyalty to his closest friend and obedience to the organization, the man faced a painful inner struggle, but in the end, he picked up the phone and called his mentor, telling him to run. Sensing the danger, the mentor followed his instructions. He disabled the surveillance system and took the elevator to the underground parking lot, but just as he was about to escape, he found his car had been sabotaged. That's when the man stepped out from the shadows. The mentor finally understood everything. Using the trust between them, the man had bypassed all security to stage the scene as a carjacking turned deadly. The mentor knew how the organization worked. If death was inevitable, he would rather die at the hands of his student. He handed over his favorite pistol and asked the man to give him a clean end.